You know what's weird? It wasn't when everything fell apart that I realized I was stuck. It was when everything should have been fine. I had time, I had money saved, no debt, no kids, no partner, and a stable six-figure job. I even had my own place, and still, nothing was happening. I wasn't stuck because life got in the way. I was stuck because I kept getting in the way. This video isn't some polished comeback story. I already live a version of life I thought I wanted, but inside, I feel like I've been circling the same block for years. I'm just here to tell the truth about what it looks like before when you're still sitting in it. Because for years, I thought I was waiting for the perfect moment, but really, I was just afraid. Afraid to fail, afraid to be seen. I had this idea of who I was supposed to be by now. Millionaire by 30, traveling, inspiring others, built, doing what I love. But here I was, 30, on the couch, eating chips, watching the day pass by, and I couldn't stop asking myself, why am I still here? I used to think the problem was my job. So I planned an escape, a business idea, researching, buying cameras, buying equipment. I even flipped a mobile home, thinking once this is done, I'll finally be free to start. But the mobile home got finished and nothing changed. I remember this one moment in particular. I had just ordered all the gear, camera, mic, tripod, and it was all supposed to be my starting point, my commitment. The Amazon boxes showed up. I felt the excitement, the possibility, and then weeks went by. Boxes stayed sealed. I'd walk past by them every day like unopened dreams. The truth is, the excuses didn't end. They just changed shape. First it was time, then it was gear, then it was clarity. Now it's just me. And I think the first time I really felt like I was falling behind was in my mid-20s. I told myself the moment was coming, but now I'm 30, and that moment still hasn't arrived. Not because life blocked it, but because I kept living in the in-between of life, half committed, backtracking when it got hard, falling back to old habits when I didn't know what to do. You know what's messed up? Sometimes I think I liked being stuck. Not in a fun way, but in a safe way. Because as long as I stayed here, I didn't have to prove anything. I could hold on to the story that I'm destined for something great, without ever risking the truth that maybe I'm not. I built an identity around potential, around who I could be, but never around action. And now it's catching up to me. All I know is I'm tired. Tired of being upset at the end of the day because I wasted it again. Tired of saying I'll start tomorrow and waking up to the same loop. Tired of hiding behind strategy when what I need is courage. One of the biggest lies I believed was that I needed clarity before I could move. And as someone who's always called myself an overthinker, I used that to justify my stuckness. I had asked the same questions from 100 different angles, trying to find the right answer, trying to make sure there were no holes in the boat. But no matter how much I researched, planned, or prepared, I was never more certain, just more paralyzed. Because clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing, and I kept trying to figure it all out in my head instead of figuring it out in motion. At this point, I'm just asking myself one thing. Can I just try to fail? Not plan to win, not obsess over getting it perfect, just try to fail. Because at least then I'd be moving. Trying to fail means letting go of this obsession with winning before I even start. It means letting the first video be awkward, letting the first product flop, letting myself not know, and still showing up anyway. Because you can't learn how to steer if you've never left the shore. If this video was hard to watch, it's probably calling out a part of you you've been ignoring. You don't need to be perfect, you need to start. There's always something to improve, but if you don't start, you'll never get there. So start messy. Start with bare bones. Improve as you go. Momentum is better than perfection. Number 2, You're not lazy, you're scared. But fear doesn't mean you're broken. I had fears too, of not knowing what I really wanted, of being seen, of people realizing I don't have it all together. But hiding behind ideas or looking like I've got it together kept me stuck. Because I wasn't moving, I was just protecting my ego. Number 3, you're not behind, but if you don't move now, you might be soon. Because time flies. COVID feels like last year, but it wasn't. Years pass fast. And it's not to scare you, it's to remind you you have time, but you don't have time to waste. Number 4, you don't need more time, you need more truth. Most of us already know what we should be doing. We just don't want to face it. What conversations are you avoiding? What responsibility are you dodging? What vision are you pretending not to see? Stop waiting for the right time. Start telling yourself the truth. Number 5, if you want more, you have to be more. Not someday, now. These aren't perfect tactics, but they're better than what I had before, which was nothing. So this isn't the video where I say everything changed overnight, but maybe it's the one where I stop pretending I need a perfect plan. Maybe it's the one where I finally try. And if you're stuck too, maybe you don't need a grand strategy. Maybe you just need to stop hiding from your own potential. You're not too late. You're just one honest step away from momentum. And just remember, it's about rebuilding trust with yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and don't, it chips away at that trust. But every time you take even a small step, you start to believe in yourself again. Not because you shouted some affirmation, but because you proved it. That's the real win. That's where momentum begins.